60% of the world uses internet. Now what makes up the internet? Code. Code has always been the future and always will be the future. Now what is code? Code is all around us. When we write code, we are telling a computer a specific set of events that it needs to execute. Like, let's say, how to react to a push of a button, click of a mouse. An analogy I like to use is telling someone to drive somewhere, right? But they don't even know what a car is. First of all, you need to tell them where they're going. You need to tell them what a car is, how to operate it, the gas, brake pedal, right? And what happens, let's say, if there's a traffic jam or how to turn. Now, every time we write code, we are teaching the computer everything every time. The computer basically needs to relearn. Now, code is not just text. It's actually just zeros and ones. We use the different programming languages to actually just interpret the zeros and ones. Now, coding languages are just text files, right? And it makes it so we can actually understand the zeros and ones. Now, by combining a billion, or billions actually, of these zeros and ones, we are able to make such things like this presentation, or all our technology, right? So, in a way I like to explain it is just like the English language, right? We have 26 letters in the alphabet, but are able to make over 170,000 words and 100 millions of books, right? And that's just in the English dictionary. Now, the next part I wanted to talk about is how code affects our lives, right? It's almost completely obvious. We see code everywhere in the presentation, in our cars, streetlights, whatever it might be. Now, all our electronics really would not be working without code, right? And the next part I wanted to talk about, the essential question, and I really answered why code was the future with this essential question. I was able to find through my research of how has technology affected the workplace in the past 50 years. Now, I really did see a big change from, big computers and, mobile or non-mobile telephones to now we have mobile telephones and laptops. Really, with the advancements in technology, we are able to meet with anyone with just a few clicks of a mouse. Now, from my research, I was really able to conclude that technology affects the routine and substitution, or by substitution, right? We now have things such as bots that can make text messages and advertisements, or we have OpenAI that can, write paragraphs and paragraphs of, any question you ask it, right? Now, the next part was actually my project. So this is my project. I decided to learn a coding language, and the language I learned was Python. This is one of many. I think there are over 700 languages, and basically I decided to create a game with it. So I decided to pick Python just due to the fact that I had previous knowledge in it. I spent my weekends coding a little bit on an extra class I took, and I eventually decided to learn more about it. So I basically created a two-dimensional, quick little game, but it wasn't really quick. It was over 500 lines of code, and it took the whole semester and I think over 50 hours about. And one of the hardest parts about this was actually just writing and debugging code. I think it's just a lot of problem solving that you have to do. Now, throughout this project, I was able to learn about the different layers, especially the debugging of code that I talked about previously. And after completing the game, I decided to kind of extend my knowledge with code. I decided to learn C# and Java, which are another couple languages, right? And I'm now able to, partially create 3D games, which are better than this one. It's better, but and I was really just able to find a new interest that I never really had before. I found out, what I wanted to do as maybe a job or, just for fun. And I really am ultimately grateful for that. Now, in conclusion, I really did find this to be one of the best knowledge or experiences I've ever had. And as Bill Gates once said, we are changing the world with technology, and the world is certainly changing with code being a leading factor. Thank you so much. Any questions? Yeah.
Is this something you want to continue with, like, for a career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll probably study it later in college or something. Yeah.
Were there like roadblocks you hit along the way, and if so, how did you fix them?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of just